I wanted to come on today and talk to you about a concept I've heard of. I've been listening to an audiobook now for a couple of weeks on and off about triathlon training, and it's been written by a guy called Friel. So Joe, my friend Joe, who I've never met and never spoken to. Anyway, my friend Joe speaks about a concept called banking, and it comes down to when you're training for an event, and we'll say the reason I'm listening to this is because I'm going to start proper training for Ironman on the 1st of March, and he talks about banking your sessions. And it might be that a given day is dedicated or designated as a recovery day, and if you can recover effectively, and if you can refrain from going and smashing yourself on a session because you feel full of energy, well, you can bank that. You can bank that as another stepping stone towards success. Because if you don't recover now, you're going to feel the lack of recovery later, and you're not going to be able to train if you're not recovering properly now. So this came up in our accountability group recently, and we were going through a week where I was suggesting that people go on MyFitnessPal, and I wanted to spend a week making people understand exactly what it is they were eating, and understand portions of food, and understand how to portion their food. So we were using MyFitnessPal as a tool to do that, and to be able to understand how much food they actually needed, and the fact that they can go on there every now and again, once a month, once every 2 months, to ensure they've got enough protein in their diet, ensure they're not going over on their saturated fat consumption, so on and so forth. I'm sure many of you know what MyFitnessPal is for. So it occurred to me when one of the girls posted up, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is my weight. I haven't weighed myself since Christmas and I'm in shock." And then very quickly, one or two others started coming back saying, "Oh my God, I've just weighed myself as well. What an eye-opener. Never realized I weighed so much." And then somebody else came back and said, "I'm not going to weigh myself today. God forbid that, I look at the number and it's going to just ruin my day." And it really made me sit back and think, wow, we've had almost 2.5 weeks of amazing success. And the success that I was measuring was hitting walking targets on any given day, hitting step targets, making sure that non-exercise activity thermogenesis, so NEAT, was up. In other words, any of the movement that they were doing that wasn't scheduled exercise, that was up. People were making far more conscious decisions about their food. People were feeling better in themselves. People were ecstatic that they were hitting targets for breakfast, that they were changing their mindset around food. And we had 14 or 15 days under our belts of just wonderful, beautiful change in mindset around food, around diet culture, around the need to be low carb, around the need to always be watching what you're eating. And one exercise, one number on one weigh-in, just so that they could set up MyFitnessPal, really threw the group it just threw everybody. And it made me realize that, okay, so sometimes I'll step on the stage and I'll go, "Oh, fucking hell, Fiona, come on. Like, what did you eat this weekend?" And I'll go, "Okay, yeah, maybe I was out Friday night and we had wine, and then I had pizza, and then actually, yeah, we did stop at the Chippers, and holy God, yeah, okay, in retrospect, maybe I need to rein it back in this week." You just make the decision for yourself, okay? But I can't remember the last time I stepped on the scales and it ruined my day. So this really surprised me, and we've been using my friend Joe's method of banking our successes. So what actually turned it around for me, and what made me want to do this little IGTV, is that once I reminded people to look back through their journals and to say, "Okay guys, just hold on a second now. What did we bank last week?" Go back through your journals, look at the top of every page. So I suggested that people put a star next to what they banked that day, At the end of the day, write down what it is that you have banked, write down what it is that you have acknowledged as being your success today. Even quite simply, have a box, have a piggy bank, and every day, at some point during the day, tear a piece of paper off something you find on the kitchen counter, off the back of a cornflakes box, after whatever. Write down, just made a savage lunch. Write down, just prepped my food for tomorrow in advance, #queen. Whatever it is, your successes. Didn't scream once at the kids this morning. I wrote that one down. I am that parent. You gotta acknowledge the wins on any given day. And when you're feeling that you've got a loss, look back over those wins, because invariably you will look at the day you're having and say, okay, yeah, I have a loss, but maybe I have 2 wins today as well. And they're definitely going to sweep the floor with the fact that my weight hasn't changed, or the fact that I'm heavier than I thought I was. Maybe you're heavier than you thought you were today, but if you haven't weighed yourself in over a month, maybe you're lighter than you were 2 weeks ago. So, and really considering the fact that your gut feels better, you feel better in your clothes, you feel more active, you're sleeping better, you feel more positive about the outcome that you're aiming for. These are the things you're supposed to be measuring. These are the things that are actually going to bring you in the direction that you're trying to travel in. Not this one number on a scale. Get into the habit of banking the good stuff. Just write it down. Acknowledge it. Start acknowledging the good stuff, and the other stuff that maybe isn't so good starts to take a backseat. Words of wisdom for today from my best friend, Jo.